2.
Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There is Tammy car enthusiast and Dave's fiance, Dustin reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are inside movies galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
To heal. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am in dread cold. No, my name is Dave. We are going to be going on about a film that I actually saw in the theater when it came out. And it is a film called The Mothman Prophecies, which it is a 2002 movie starring, let me bring up IMDb, starring Richard Gere, Laura Linney, David Eigenberg, Bob Tracy, Ron Emanuel, Deborah Messing, Tom Stobiak, Yvonnya Erickson, among Will Patton, Lucinda Jenny, Tom Tooley, Shane Callahan, among many others. But it is based loosely on a book by an author by the name of John A. Keel. And I kind of started to read the very beginning of the book, and the book basically tells about how a mysterious apparition knocks on a young couple's door and asks to use the phone, and they both sleepily tell the stranger or whatever it is that they don't have a phone, and it disappears. And then sometime later, they're two of the people who disappear on the bridge that collapses. Because in reality, there is a bridge that collapses, and that's one of the truths that is is
real.
True. Yeah,
Wow.
it actually did happen. But there is no reason that they could figure out why the bridge collapsed at all, and it hasn't happened since, from what I understand. But there was stuff that was happening in Point Pleasant, and it was weird, and a lot of it was taken and written down, and that's John A. Keel's book of which I think it's kind of based on public transcriptions of people coming to police and talking about their sightings and what they've seen, and what happened to them, So, but in any case, see what IMDb says about the film before we go on forward. It's very short, very brief. A reporter investigates strange phenomena in a small town. That's it. That's all it says. IMDb. So, that is very vague. So let's go into first impressions. Starting with you, Boris. Was this a first time watch for you?
Actually, it wasn't the first, it was the second time. Although the first time I'm not sure I saw it from the very beginning, but from whichever point I stumbled upon it, I watched the rest of it, uh, and I did find it quite interesting the first time. Well, this time too. The only thing I found a little disappointing the first time was that in the end we don't get to know the whole story about who the Mothman or Indrid Cold really was and what his agenda was. But then I found out it was supposedly based on true events, so I guess it would have been wrong to come up with uh, some story about him that's just completely made up if the movie is supposed to be, at least
I'm
to some extent, based on true events.
I'm gonna put it to you like the guy that the guy that Richard Gere's character went to go and hunt down. We're never supposed to know,
Apparently so.
but uh, is that pretty much it for you for first impressions?
Uh, Well, more or less, yeah. I did enjoy the movie. It was quite exciting and suspenseful. I just, like I said, wish we got more of the story, but at the same time, I understand why we didn't. So, yeah.
Okay, heading over to you, Tammy. Was this a first time watch for you?
No, it definitely was not the first time. I don't remember when I saw it the first time, but this is probably like the third or so time, you know. I just found it very interesting, intriguing, and I like the mystery part of it and and every the whole investigating and everything. It just you know um basically it paranormal, I guess you would like to call it or whatever. It just intrigued me. So I mean, I liked it enough that I bought it. So evidently that means something.
Okay,
So I don't usually everything I have in my collection. If I bought it, there was a reason I bought it because I don't just buy them to buy them. So
okay. Is that pretty much it for your first impressions then?
yeah, for right now.
Okay. And yeah, I had a mentor who would take me to see movies from time to time. A man who was who was paid for me by the state to kind of like guide me in whatever was that they wanted me to be guided back to be part to get me back into society, you know. And this was one of the movies that he took me to, and I liked it. I like Richard Gere as an actor. It was definitely suspenseful. I know I'd seen him in Primal Fear before. In fact, I don't really remember uh, that particular role, but I know he's been in suspenseful roles before. Um, and I know Tammy's used to him being Lancelot, so in a King Arthur movie, right?
Huh?
You're used to Richard Gere in that King Arthur movie, right?
Oh yeah, first night.
So, But in any case, um, Richard Gere plays a reporter, and this is going into the plot. See, what is his actual name in here? Looking back at IMDb, and he plays
It's
John
John
Klein.
Klein.
John Klein, and he is married and has a wife at this moment. He is a reporter, and I guess him and his wife end up going house hunting, and they're fooling around on the floor, and the guy who's selling the house to them comes upon them, and they're like, "We're taking the house." So they buy the house, and then they're on their way back. They're somewhat goofing around, but then she sees two lights which look like red headlights, but it seems like she sees something which has the car spun out, and then when they get her to the hospital, they find that she's got a tumor on her brain that was never there before, although as large as it is, uh, it's been there a while, supposedly.
Yeah, actually, they did say that it was there before. That they just no one knew about it. I think.
Yeah, well, they tried to go in and get most of it, and apparently they were not able to get all of it. And from when push came to shove, it looks like she eventually died. But she told him, or she the one of the last things that she said to him was, "Did she see that? Did she see them, or whatnot?" And there was a nurse that stood at the door and said that she knew that she was going to be taken because she drew the angels. And as he opened up the book, there were angels that were being drawn, but there was also other shit that was drawn too. And this was stuff that she had seen. And she had actually seen the Mothman, and this was the thing that was bothering her while she was dying. You know.
Right.
So now the movie goes forward 2 years. He's still reporting for the news, and he's supposed to go talk to a governor somewhere, and he ends up driving off to go to this supposed interview, and he finds that he has no memory of him driving over 400 miles to the town of Point Pleasant when his car suddenly sputters out, and he ends up walking up to this man's house, who draws a gun on him, claiming that he has actually been coming there the last couple of nights and causing this couple to have no sleep. And he's actually been told to get off the property 3 times before, at least. And he has no memory of being there at all, not even once. But this is when the cop lady comes in. I guess she's a sheriff. And she looks into him. In fact, she actually recognized him and everything. And they get kind of cozy together because um, she starts to mention all the different stories that people keep coming to her and explaining that they see this Mothman, and each of them are a little weird, and they are all God-fearing folks that come up and tell her everything. So, what do you guys think about the initial reporter and his wife dying and all that jazz? What do you think about that aspect of the story? What do you think about the reporter?
Well, I think that's a decent establishment of his character. For a moment, I was wondering why he was going to get so worked up about the Mothman to begin with, since it wasn't really the Mothman that killed his wife, since she didn't die in the accident but died from the tumor later on.
No,
But
but she had drawn the Mothman, and so had other people.
yeah, yeah, I
The
definitely.
same character that was drawn, he recognized in his wife's drawing.
Yeah, I definitely did start making more sense when he somehow ended up near Gordon's place, and when he knocked there and got attacked with a gun with the accusation of apparently being there for the third time, which he really wasn't. Yeah, after that, it did start making more sense.
Okay, what about you, Tammy? What did you think about the reporter and how things came about and how he got himself in Point Pleasant and all that jazz?
Well, I think it's a shame about his wife, number one. But yeah, it's just yeah, it's weird how he ended up there. You know, he did. You know, he didn't even realize that that's where he was until he went into that store and he asked them where am I on this map? You know.
Oh, that was not a store. That was actually the hotel that he was going to spend the night at.
Oh, the hotel, but it looked like he was. It looked like there was some stuff that he could buy there or whatever.
Ah,
So, but he was totally surprised when it was pointed out as to where he was.
yeah. Apparently, Point Pleasant is in West Virginia, which is on the border of Ohio, supposedly.
But he had no idea how he got there because it was so far off of where he was supposed to be going.
Correct.
And then um
What do you think about Gordon?
well, obviously something had happened. I mean, Gordon seems a little flaky at first, but once you listen to him and everything, you realize that something did happen. Okay. Um,
Well, the wife says that she remembers the knocks on the door,
right. The
but
only
she
thing
doesn't.
is you you're wondering what he saw when he opened the door, though. Did he really see Richard Gere's character, or did he see somebody else? Um, it's
Yeah.
obvious that something happened and somebody was there and somebody did knock on the door. But who was the somebody? You know,
Mhm.
um, the the deputy or sheriff or whatever. Now she, you know, she's not taking anybody's side, which is cool. She said she'll have them investigated, and she listened to everything that Gordon said, and then she listened to everything that Richard Gere said, and and she said she did recognize him, but she's taking everything into account. because
Yeah.
she's not trying to say anybody is wrong, because she's like she said, Gordon's not prone to making up stories. So, but she finally does come clean to a point with Richard Gere's character about other things that have been happening in the town.
Well, yeah, at first she doesn't want to tell him because, even to her, it sounds strange. And it's only just become, a thing that people are coming to her and telling her these happenings that are going on, and it's starting to be weird, you know, to even to her. And I think the reason why she mentions it is because he's a reporter and he's asking, you know, and he shows interest.
That's part of it. Plus, evidently, something has happened to him because if he has no, he's telling her, I was going, this is where I was going. I have no idea how I got here, you know?
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
next day is even weirder because they tow his car there and the mechanic says there's nothing wrong with it. And he's like, and he goes, there's nothing wrong with it, you know?
Yeah. So
So,
so he asks what he owes, and he's like, nothing. There was nothing wrong with it. He's like, oh, really? And then he runs into Gordon, and Gordon's like, well, I spoke to Sheriff. Uh, let's see, what is her?
Connie.
Connie Mills.
Uh,
Uh,
oh yeah, by the way, sorry to interrupt, but did anyone else find it amusing that Gordon's last name was Smallwood?
no,
Small morning wood.
but in any case, he spoke to Sheriff Mills, and she said that he was okay, but he was like, he's willing to let bygones be bygones and everything. So it's kind of it's kind of weird that he's coming up and talking to him, for a moment. And the next thing that John Klein says to him is that is just that he's driven 400 miles and he didn't even realize where he was, and all that jazz. And he's like, well, and you're the one telling me that I'm crazy.
Uh, well, truth be told, John did kind of make himself sound crazy at that moment.
So, um, it's not too long before he's actually going around town listening to all the different stories that Sheriff Mills has already ascertained, so that it's kind of like he starts reporting. And the whole one of the whole reasons why he started doing all of this is because of somebody actually. She Sheriff Mills actually brought out a file, and there was a drawing that was almost exactly like the drawing that his wife actually drew. So that drew
Oh
him
yeah.
even further into to the whole thing, and he wanted to know everything about it. And not only that, but things are beginning to happen where Gordon actually just kind of shows up out of nowhere, like while he's out shopping or whatnot, and okay, there is an instance where uh, he wakes up and he thinks that um thinks that he has gotten a phone call or something like that where he wrote down Denver 29. Okay.
Uh, wasn't it 99?
I think it was Denver 29.
It was Denver 9, and then 9,
Denver
and then
9.
underneath it, it was 99.
Correct. And he didn't remember drawing any of the other crap that's on that thing. And when he was walking with Gordon, when John was walking with Gordon outside, he noticed that his ear was bleeding. So he took him to the hospital, and he wanted to have him go over his whole entire brain because he thought that maybe he might have the same thing his wife had, the tumor. But when they did the CAT scan and everything, there was nothing there. So it was kind of a scare. But um, uh, it scared Gordon so much that he kind of almost believed that there was something there because obviously something happened and something was wrong. And then they're sitting in there in the cafe, and a news report comes on, and it pretty much states a disaster that had just happened of a plane that had been downed with 9 dead, I think, in Denver, if I remember correctly. Correct?
The plane number was plane number 9 or something, but the 99 were dead, so it matched the number.
99 will die. Yes,
Oh,
that
they,
was what was written on the thing, and that Richard Gere's character, John Keel, just kind of looked at Gordon, and they looked. He looked right back at him, and that was a moment where he was like, okay, he's not as crazy as you would think because now he's predicting shit. You know, so
yeah.
that is something that happens throughout this movie because it not only happens to Gordon, but it also starts happening to John Klein's character. And there is something that happens to the sheriff, evidently when she was a very young kid. She remembers a dream. Does anybody remember the dream?
And uh, Connie's dream.
Yeah, Connie Mills' dream.
Something about sinking, drowning. She knew she was dying, but apparently she felt good. But then some voice told her, "Wake up, number 37," or something like that.
Correct. And that comes into play some time later. Which spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, but what ends up happening is Gordon. Gordon one night as he was coming home from work ends up meeting the person who's been giving him these predictions, and he gives him a name. He gives him the name of Ingrid Cold. And Ingrid Cold tells him several things, if I remember correctly.
Uh,
Do not
yes.
be worried, but 300 will die. And so on and so forth. There's like, and then he shows in the newspaper that there were 300 people that were over 300 people that were dead. in some natural disaster of some sort. I forget exactly what kind of disaster, but this isn't the only time that he has talked to Indrid Cold. Evidently, Indrid Cold actually, in the middle of the night, spoke to him and told him that he would see that he would everything was going to be fine, and it sounded like he was going off somewhere. And by the time John Klein got over to his place, he found Gordon and his body out in the woods beyond his place. Oh, and I do believe that by this time he has gotten in contact with an author who had authored certain things about this. And at first, the author is reluctant to speak to him, but he does eventually speak to him. And after he comes back a couple of times, he's told that Gordon's wife has left him, and that Gordon ended up getting fired from his job as well. In between all of this, so when he gets the call, he immediately goes over and finds out that and evidently he calls Sheriff Mills, and they come, and they notice that his body has been out there at least 8 hours, and he mentions that he had gotten a phone call
Yeah, only one
from him
hour ago.
only 1 hour ago, and that is the strangest of all. So, oh, and
Definitely.
also, um, John Klein's job, or at least his best friend at his job, has been in contact with him while he's been in Point Pleasant, and he's trying to get him to keep his job while he's back there. And I guess there's a governor that's going to be at a plant that is going to be on the other side of the river over there in Point Pleasant, and his boss wants him to go over and speak with him. Well, he gets several calls by Ingrid Cold. One of them stating that there is going to be a tragedy on the Ohio River, but he also, I do believe, um, uh, when he thinks the Ohio tragedy on the Ohio River, he's thinking that, okay, the governor needs to get away from that plant, and he tries to warn them, but they think he's crazy. And then when nothing happens at the plant, and he sees that the governor went ahead and he gave his opinion on the plant and everything, and nothing happens, then he thinks, okay, now he's might have lost his job and everything, and now everyone thinks he's crazy. But then he gets a message while he's thinking about all of this, apparently from his this Ingrid Cold, that his wife will call him at the house in which they bought for themselves at this time on this day. So be there, you know. So he does start to pack, and Sheriff Mills is there, and she tries to tell them that whoever is going to call him is not going to be his wife, because she doesn't fully believe in all of it, or anything. She doesn't want to believe in any of it. In fact, all of this shit kind of scares her to fucking death. Um, so she actually calls him around the time that his wife is supposed to call him, and she tells him that she's booked him a flight back to Point Pleasant to be there for for Christmas Eve. Um, and it gets to that point where the phone the phone does call, but he doesn't answer it because he's scared to, and
Yeah,
he
truth be
basically
told, truth be told, I found that moment kind of disappointing. Like it left us wondering what he would have been told if he had picked up.
yeah, but he chose not to, and he chose to take that flight. But then he realized he got the feeling that okay, the tragedy is going to happen on the Ohio River, and he now knows that seeing all these cars on this bridge, it's going to be that bridge.
Forgot to mention about the phone call. He decides not to take it and rips the phone out and everything. And then a few minutes later, the phone is ringing, and then he realizes he was right by not taking it. I think
Yep.
because the phone should not be ringing when he ripped it all out of the you know out
No,
of the
it
wall and
definitely should
everything.
not.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
good point.
Also, you forgot to mention that couple where they were making out in the car,
oh
and
yeah,
then his eyes got all um upset. The one eye is still
that's
pretty
right.
bothered.
There was a couple, a makeout couple that he basically talked to in that string of interviews that he was doing, and there was a mark on his eyes, and that just never went away. Well, now we find out exactly why it was a mark that never went away, because the bridge, one of the things snapped and basically just went straight into him. you know,
Yeah.
and of course he stood there staring at it instead of getting out of the car. I feel like he should have listened to John and gotten out of the car instead of just staring. You know,
Yeah, John was trying to get him to get out of the car.
but as we see Sheriff Mills does go into the water, and John Klein jumps into the water and saves her. And she when she's saved and out, and when the guy comes up and says after all the searching there were 36 that were dead, and that's when she thinks back to her dream
And
that
she should have been 37.
wake up number 37.
Ah,
So,
yeah.
but I thought there was definitely some interesting backstory that was given to us by the author that he went and met, and saying that the Mothman's been seen since like way back when, and oftentimes they are like the harbingers of impending death, from what I understand. Correct.
Oh, yeah.
So he tries to tell him to not go back to Point Pleasant at all because something bad is going to happen. And he's right. Um, Something bad does happen. And that's pretty much the movie. I mean, it's kind of straightforward because um there is a lot going on, and it's trying to go. I mean, there was a heck of a lot more that sightings and whatnot of that people saw that I know, but they were only. I mean, in a movie's span time, you can only say only a few. You know.
Right. The one lady said that she saw something that it turned out to be that it had to be like 7 feet tall, and it was all in black, and all she could see was the red eyes
And
outside her
remember,
window.
all of this stuff supposedly happened like during the 50s when the whole Roswell alien crash was supposed to have happened in New Mexico and things of that nature. So G-men and tall men and all the, them types were coming out of the cardboard, the woodworks. There were stories of men in black that would just interrogate you throughout the night, sometimes for no darn reason at all. Uh, and these were some superstitious people too. So um, a lot of them didn't believe in all of this these aliens or anything like that, and yet when they saw it, then they were true believers. So uh I mean, I don't know what you would do if you suddenly you saw a moth with red eyes and suddenly could predict the future. you know
Yeah, definitely.
but on that note, what did y'all think about the production of the movie overall?
I thought it was pretty good. I guess I would have liked to have seen the Mothman, the creature or whatever, a little bit more. You know, you got
Instead
the
of through people's imaginations.
yeah, instead of just their drawings, it's just the voice on the phone. You don't really get to see them that much. I mean, I have actually seen other things on this other than this movie, and they that they showed more of the actual Mothman and these other things that I have seen. So, um, I guess, and because I have seen these other, I don't know if you want to call them documentaries or they were other movies or what. I think they were more like a documentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I think I know the ones that you're talking about. I started collecting a bunch of documentaries from a specific documentarian, and he focused on a lot of the Mothman stuff.
I think it was even before him that I saw something. But anyways, it showed the creature more than this movie did. I mean, this movie, yes, got me interested in trying to find out more, and got me interested every time I would see something about it. I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to check that out. But so I think the production was, I guess I'd have to be say okay, because I would like to have seen a little bit more of this creature, because you know just having people's drawings and just hearing them didn't quite do it for me. I would like to have seen him more, seen what these people saw. You know,
Pretty much like in the previous movie, huh?
in the other movies that I saw. Yeah, I think the storyline and stuff was pretty decent and everything. It's just you know, um,
Half of these people who saw the Mothman only saw him for a matter of seconds. So how do you expect us as viewers to see the Mothman even more. You know?
Because it's a movie, we're supposed to be able to see it.
Well, kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I still like the mystery of it all. I kind of
I
like the
do
fact
like
that
the
it didn't.
mystery, but I like.
In this one, I didn't care to. Now, the next Mothman movie that they do, hell yeah, I want to see more of the Mothman. But this one, I was okay with it.
Uh,
I was okay with seeing everything that I saw.
Actually, I found out there is another Mothman movie which I haven't seen. It's apparently called The Mothman of Point Pleasant. Apparently, it's about the same thing, just another movie.
I probably seen it.
Oh,
There, that would see if it's a documentary and see if it's directed by Brett's or Seed Love. It might
oh,
actually be a documentary.
Mothman of Point Pleasant. It's documentary horror from 2017.
Seth Breedlove is the director, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yep, have it, and it's not and it's not a movie; it's a documentary. So, but it's still a good documentary. I interviewed that director some time ago, but in any case, what about you, Boris? What did you think about the production overall?
Well, I thought it was pretty good, although I did also kind of wish we got to see more of the Mothman. But yeah, the drawings were interesting. The one moment when we did get to see him before the crash at the beginning, that was pretty cool. And there were some pretty cool special effects throughout the movie. I also like how well they replicated the technology of the 1960s. Uh, and yeah, the voice of the Mothman or Indrid Cold was also pretty interesting. And yeah, the bridge was definitely an epic spoodow.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so I do think the production was decent overall.
I thought the production myself was pretty darn good over time. I absolutely did not want to. For some reason, this in this movie, I didn't. I didn't care that I didn't see enough of the Mothman. It creeped me out enough to the extent that I didn't want to see him. Um, at the time. Um, I mean, that was like the almost at the end of my high school age that I saw it. So, um, I was still getting into horror movies a whole lot more back then. So,
Well,
to me,
that's where we differ. Even at a young age, if there was a if there was a monster of some sort in a movie, I wanted to see the monster.
well, I did too, but I had a mom who tried to censor what I watched. So that is why I always try, as a teenager and even into my adult age, kept trying to find the grossest and most sadistic movies that there are. But in any case, uh I thought, like I said, I thought the production was okay without. Um, I thought it was pretty decent backstory to the Mothman, kind of skating over some of the actual interviews or whatnot. And I'm sure that this couple that especially the one guy, Gordon, was kind of based on the initial young couple that was spoken of uh, in the original novel. Um, so, but yeah, I thought it was an interesting explanation of some of the Point Pleasant stuff. I know that there is a mini series called Point Pleasant that I always wanted to check out. And then there is just a straight Mothman movie, but the rest that's out there are probably documentaries. There have only been two movies of the Mothman itself. Um, so which is surprising because you find a whole heck of a lot of movies in one, you know, genre of things, but you only find two in this subject. It's like, come on, can't you like make more horror movies in that vein? But in any case, so uh, I thought the music was interesting. Is interesting. I didn't exactly pay attention to it this time around, nor did I any other times. But I always remembered the music actually being something in it. What did y'all think?
I'm
Well,
sorry, I had some glitch. Can you repeat what you asked, please?
I asked about the music and what you thought about it.
didn't really pay
Oh,
attention.
It
well, I noticed the instrumental in the ending credits, which was okay. Other than that, I must admit I didn't really notice much, although there probably was some. I just failed to pay attention to it.
okay? Well, I'm trying to look for where the composer says it's Tom and Andy. I don't even know who those are, but I guess they did the music for The Strangers and Resident Evil Retribution from 2012 and 47 Meters Down. Uh, they were the composer of Haunt, which I haven't seen, Wish Upon, The Wilding, The Monster, Sinister 2, Girl House, which I think I haven't seen yet though. Citadel, a movie, which I know I have that one, but I haven't watched it. Oh, they did the music for P2, which I never watched. The Covenant. Ah, that's that uh witch boy. It reminded me of like the Lost Boys, except with witches. The Covenant. Let's see, and then the Hills Have Eyes remake, which he composed, and Right at Your Door, which I think I have that one too. Anyways, so going into first, uh, uh, going into favorite scenes and our favorite characters. Let's start with you, Tammy. I started with Boris last time.
Uh, I guess I have to go for Richard Gere's character, the reporter.
Okay.
Because he is Well, he's doing what a reporter does. Really, he is trying to find out more and more and more about what all this is. He's listening to, he's trying to gather facts from all the townspeople. He tracks down the guy, the author. He's trying to make sense of everything and put everything all together and figure out how this is all coming together, and especially, why there? Why is it in, in that at that at that particular place? And
Yeah.
kind of like how does trying to figure out how he fits into it.
And you get that he actually really did love his wife too.
Well, yeah, you know,
So logically.
but um, my favorite scene, um, I guess, I mean, I realize it's a tragedy, and it turns out to be a real tragedy, but how they portrayed the whole bridge coming down, like, area by area and things. This came disconnected and that came disconnected, and this piece fell, and you know what I mean. They
Oh yeah. Pull
they
down.
Yes, but they really did do a whole it wasn't just boom, the bridge fell out. It was, you
It
know
felt like a Final Destination moment.
kind of, only it lasted longer than even Final Destination, because it was, kind of piece by piece by piece type of thing that was going on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, it was the tragedy of the movie, but yeah.
Okay. Heading over to you, Boris. Favorite scene or scenes and or favorite character.
Well, I think Richard Gere is my favorite character, although I did also like Indrid Cold because of how mysterious he was and all that. And my favorite scene, well, I really did like the scene at the bridge because it really was a good spoodow. I also liked that phone call, and Indrid Cold was proving himself real by providing the knowledge on John Clyde's life. It was pretty badass.
Okay.
Uh,
And my favorite character is also John Klein. Um Although at times it's Gordon because Gordon really was the innocent in this whole thing. I mean, he felt like he had to follow what Indrid Cold wanted, and he followed it to his death. You know,
True. Did we actually find out how and why he died in the first place?
well, I don't know why, but I'm assuming that it was kind of to like keep his mouth shut about certain things because he knew too much.
Huh.
It's kind of like how the author coined it. He noticed them, so they noticed him right back.
Huh. Interesting.
So I mean, the author basically told him that he believes that uh, that he's contacting him to lead him to his death. Basically,
Hmm.
he was basically warning him not to keep contact with this entity. because continuation with it would lead to his demise. So, but my favorite scene, yeah, is, I hate to say this. A part of it is um his whole realization when he missed, when his wife came in, and what's her name didn't Mills didn't want to tell him the truth, that it was in fact his wife that popped in and asked about him. You know, so uh
Definitely.
other than that, did anyone else have anything else to add?
Oh, other than this was a shockingly short discussion for such a long movie and a quite interesting movie. Nothing much actually.
Yeah, it is kind of shocking that this was definitely that short of a discussion, but you know, there is a lot that we did discuss, and if there was anything that you guys had wanted to like stop and talk about along the way, I'm sure we could have, and this is your opportunity too, if we did not. So, if there is nothing else,
Apparently so.
then I hope the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your day. And hopefully, you have enjoyed our discussion on this film. If
Oh,
you have not seen the movie, go out and see it. Right now,
uh,
it is available to be viewed on Tubi. So, which is shocking because is a lot that they have pretty much shelved and is not streaming these days. You had something to say?
actually, yes, there was one thing I wanted to say, but ended up forgetting. The moment when Richard Gere's character visits Gordon for the first time and says, my car broke down and I was wondering if I could use your phone or something like that. He worded it. I found it interesting because more or less identical line was you. Oh wait, no, this movie is from 2002. And I was about to say a very similar line was used in The Seekers, which was released 1 year after this, but then I remembered it was filmed in 2000, which is actually 2 years before this movie. So that's an interesting coincidence. Especially because Total Evil in the movie is also portrayed as a mysterious antagonist. Like throughout the whole movie, you never really get a precise answer who she really is and why she does what she does. So I found this quite interesting to point out.
Well, even in Clockwork Orange, Malcolm McDowell, his character and his droogs end up crashing a writer's home on the pretense that their car is broken down. Can they use the telephone? You know, and that was a movie back in the 70s. So, but the premise of using, or that people's car break down and having to use telephones, sometimes not trusting that person to come inside and do the right thing is the way to go, and sometimes it's the way to go to tell them to fuck off, you know. But in any case, hopefully you ladies and gentlemen have watch the film. If you haven't, go out and watch it. We'll come back, listen to our discussion. Let us know whether you like the film or our discussion, and I'm sure we'll message back to you. In any case, everyone, say good night.
Good night,
Wait,
everyone.
what's next week?
Oh, yeah. Next week is my turn, right?
Is it?
Uh,
Yeah, it's your turn again.
oh yeah. I would like to pick the movie from 1959. It's called. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Darby O'Gill or Darby O'Gill.
Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. Sounds good. In any case, I know it's a favorite of mine, but I normally like to watch it around what they call St. Patty's Day. But
Wait. When is that? If you like, we can postpone it until then.
no. We don't have to if you don't want to. I know why. I know why you want to go on about it. So let's just choose that one, because then you won't have to think and pick one during the week and not get back to me.
I'm sorry.
But in any case,
Well, it's not going to be that far away from St. Patty's Day, anyways.
probably not. It's eventually going to be coming up, anyways. So,
Uh,
Yeah, see, Sunday's the
I'm
22nd.
gonna Google when
It's like a
is.
couple weeks before St. Patty's Day, so.
yep,
Oh, March 17.
yep.
Yeah.
Who?
So, in any case, everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Everyone will die.
Ooh.
All right. Let's see.
Inside movies galore, just makes you just want more. We've had all in the world of media to explore. Horror, anime, or Curious George. Our love of new things was our reward. It is the best night of our week.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.